I did want to get your opinion on the whole, because you're familiar with like Twitch, right?
Twitch. This is the streaming service, right?
For video games, yeah, typically video games. But you can like
Yes,
watch
it's
people and
funny you
follow
said
people.
typically. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's a lot of
The
other
only thing
things going on there too.
yeah, I was gonna say that I was gonna say that I know that its intention is for video games, but I just know that it's becoming more increasingly more popular for just pretty girls, just taking just I guess video games is one thing that they're doing, but some of them are bouncing up and down in pools. Others are just
Oh yeah.
dancing around in outfits, and so it's just turned into something else.
Yeah, and that's
So,
kind of part of it. It's like that is again the whole being your own entrepreneur and get your body out there and make some money off of it, right? There's
there
many
you
avenues to it. You don't have to go all the way to OnlyFans. There's many like right different things, but
go. There you go.
because there are a lot of pathetic men out there that are just simps and that just
Yeah, yeah,
give
yeah.
that stuff up. That's just to the men out there. Like that's your time and that's your energy. Like that's your money, your resources, and then like that's your mental too. Like you're obsessing over someone you might never meet and who
Right.
will never give you more than the time of day. And it's their job to make you feel special and make you feel included. But your potential wife is out there somewhere, and you've
Yeah.
done nothing to try and find her. You know,
Yes.
you're
Yes.
gonna be stuck like that for however long, you know. So I think when you're so, and it's so easy to get like wrapped up in all this because there's, with the amount of the exposure to the internet gives us access to view millions of more faces than we were ever intended to, right? People were back in small
Yes.
villages, they never saw more than what, like 1,000 faces in their lifetimes,
There you go. There
you
you go.
know, and now we see, I'd want to say millions, you know, with the
Yeah.
internet and
Yeah.
everything. So there's tons of pretty people out there for sure, but it's like just don't fall
Yeah.
into that trap, man. You're better than that. Be better than
Mhm.
that. Like put that energy and that time and those resources somewhere else. You know, it's not helpful to you. I mean, yeah, if it's and there's very different uh parts of it, right? Because some people are actually doing good content, but then you can very clearly see what's what, right? And that's not to say attractive people can't play video games, you know? By all
Yeah.
means
Yeah. Of
do it.
course.
Yeah, if God hath blessed you and you so happen to just have both, more power to you, you know, do your thing. But even those people, like your audience, like just know if you're an audience member of that person, like why are you there, you know? Or at least what brought you there, and maybe you're there now afterwards because for the content, but like just be there for the right reasons, you know. Just don't give in to that like pretty lady ooga
Yeah.
booga
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
Like just we're called to be better than that, and there's so much more that you can get out of life. So don't just remove the simp from society. I'm trying to like build better men, you know.
Yeah. It's so funny because I feel like just with this topic alone,
Oh
we can
yeah.
make an entire episode on, man.
Yeah.
I just feel like there's so many guys that have just I don't know, they think either low of themselves or they don't know their value or they don't and they just instead of like actually applying themselves and thinking, hey, maybe actually can work on myself and go find a lady that's going to be attracted to the type of man that I'm building myself up to be. There are a lot of guys, well, they'll just kind of give up. They're just severely overweight, and to them, their relationship is the girl on Twitch.
Yeah.
And they will give her money, and they will get really excited when she calls, says their name every now and then, every blue moon, and say, oh, hey, thanks so and so for the money or whatever. And and they're like getting, and yeah, it's just sad. It's sad. So yeah, one of the hardest parts about even being a gamer, in my opinion, is there are times when I'm going to GameStop, I'm picking up a game, I'm like, oh man, Resident Evil's out, Street Fighter's out, and during those major game releases, you see a lot of people sometimes in the store at once, and you can almost tell which guys are kind of like very social and active, even though they're gamers. Maybe they have their girlfriend with them, and maybe their kids or whatever. But then you see some other guys, and sometimes they're just like, I don't know, they're
What
severely
hole did
overweight.
you
You can
crawl out of?
yeah, 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 yeah. And I was trying to be,
I'm
cautious with
I'm a
my
little more
movement,
rough on this one than
but
you are. I'm a little more
yeah,
like we're different. Like you're more Like you're zealous with the scripture and the law, right? And I'm more zealous
Exactly.
of like just get your life together. Like,
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, but no, it's just it's almost like you can tell they just kind of crawled out of their mom's basement just to pick up this game and then
just
and just
retreat.
go back.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
go back and back into the darkness, back into you know,
Into the depths.
you know? And yeah, just and it hurts
Take
me when
showers, people.
the guys are older,
Just
you
public
know, like
service
you can
announcement.
see. You
Sorry.
said what?
I was just saying, take showers, people. Public service announcement. That's
Oh,
all.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, but you can kind of see like there's this serious neglect for themselves, and they have no idea that um, sometimes they could just some minor changes, like you kind of alluded to, can actually make a difference. They can actually attract potentially a lady. And
Yeah.
one thing I'll never forget is that one of the guys that I know, and he's one of the I'm gonna say I don't think he's submitted to the red pill, but he borrows a lot of their philosophies. I'll put it that way. But I remember years ago, my very first girlfriend, and she was a very lovely, Latina, a Salvadorian girl, and she's one of those ladies where she can step into a room and she just commanded attention. She was one of those ladies.
Yeah.
She just loved attention from guys, and she's very attractive. And but I remember, she met him maybe once or twice years ago when I was dating her, and he's a heavy set guy, and I guess at that point maybe he didn't really. I don't know what was his perception of himself, but she told me straight up, man, he's a really handsome guy, and I actually over the years would tell him that, and I think he kind of would brush it off, and I didn't know if it was humility or whatever, but I think in his mind, like I don't know, he never really thought of himself, and as a handsome guy, so he kind of like
Yeah.
I don't know, he just kind of never embrace that kind of and I would sometimes even bring it up now to him just to remind him like, hey, I remember my girlfriend, man. She was a pretty lovely woman, and man, she said, you're a pretty handsome guy, like try to
Well,
encourage.
yeah, and there's so much to be said about like I mean, I was, I'm still fat right now, but I was like, a fat kid too, and when you grow up like that, it's a lot of self-esteem issues that go with that, right? And that's
Mm,
also part. Don't raise obese kids. It's ways, be a better parent because they will grow up with a bunch of problems. Not it's not permanent problems, people work through their own stuff, but do your part as a parent to make sure they don't have to go through that. Anyway, um yeah, so that's definitely a self-esteem issue, and there's a natural handsomeness, yeah, that people have that you can tell, like regardless, right? And it's just how well they treat themselves or not,
yeah,
And when you grow up with like thinking you'll never get that attention, and then someone gives it to you, you're just like, oh, they're probably just saying that. You don't believe it, right?
yeah, yes,
I actually, as a kid, I was a fatter kid, and I always thought like I would never. I don't know if I could ever get someone that was skinny, right? I thought
wow,
I'd have to settle
really.
for someone that was like fat like me. Yeah.
And I never actually knew you went through that. Wow.
Yeah, no, and it changed one night because my mom like hosted an event at like I think the House of Blues, right? And so I went there with her and I saw this like fat dude that was sitting in a chair, and then he had this like really attractive skinny lady next to him, and she was like giving him some food or whatever, right? And I was like, so there's a chance. So you're telling me I can do it?
Congratulations.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it.
yeah.
I love how our male mind works because I felt the same way. I
I had
at
to
one
see it to
point,
believe it.
yeah, but I felt the same way. I felt the same way. I remember even for myself, going through different stages in my life, and sometimes I just thought it was, my hair texture, or maybe I wasn't tall enough, or whatever else. But yeah, it was interesting because sometimes I would encounter guys that, and you can kind of see like maybe they were pretty much like almost the same as me, very similar attributes or whatever, and yeah, they attracted a fairly attractive lady, and to me it was like, wow, that just completely changed everything for me. Like it's almost like it almost reminds me of a great analogy would be in 300 King Leonidas, like there was like this idea that King Xerxes is invincible, like he's a
Yeah.
god, and it wasn't until like Leonidas, that last spear at the end, actually struck him. It was like a reminder not only to everyone else but Xerxes, like this is a human being, he can be killed.
Yep.
he can be killed,
Yep.
and that just changed everything. That changed everything. He can be killed.
It's all perception, man.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like, man, but
And
yeah, it's so interesting.
that's the other thing too. With like, even if you don't think you look the best or whatever, if when you're actually on a date or you're talking to people out and social, being social, have that confidence that you know what you're about. You know, like you are a person, you can add value to a situation. Be confident in that, and do your thing. And
Yeah,
people can see
yeah,
that they see that it's genuine. And if you need to take drastic steps to feel that self confidence, you need to do that.
yeah,
Work
yeah,
on yourself and get more fit, and then that'll come even more naturally and even better. With that
yeah,
with that guy, like I said, I understand where he's coming from. But what's awesome is that you don't have to be fat your whole life. Like there's you can change that. This whole
yeah,
you can say you
yeah,
fat phobic or like people trying to make like fat people a protected class too, along with like LGBTQ and other stuff, right? It's so stupid. Like people can't change certain things, but people can change other things.
yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like there's no excuse. It's not
And,
whole fat shaming thing, right? It's like it's
oh
not
yeah, oh
healthy.
yeah.
It's straight up. It's not healthy. Be healthy.
Correct, correct. Yeah,
Um,
it's at the point. It's seriously at the point where I remember like a week or so ago having a conversation with somebody I know about this very topic, and I think she was telling me about Lizzo. I guess has a show on Amazon Prime or something. Or
and I guess.
okay, but yeah, apparently all the dancers that Lizzo is trying to, I guess, on this reality show trying to get is, they're all like plus size. They're all plus size, and yeah, I just thought it was interesting, and I think I was telling my friend like, "Oh, that's so interesting how like clearly this is like an unhealthy lifestyle, and this is
Yeah.
like being advertised as like it's okay, And in her mind, she was thinking, oh well, yeah, they're big, but they can dance and they can do this, and and some guys like big women, and I'm just thinking like, yeah, but the majority doesn't.
Yeah.
They don't. Do that. There's a reason why, like even with all the major dating sites Asian women exceeds and gets the most amount of attention over all women because they're petite and small.
Really?
Most men, oh yeah, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Plenty of Fish reports this. OK Cupid and what's the last one? OK Cupid, Tinder, and Plenty of Fish. Yeah, POF. Yeah, yeah. And they're
And
like the
it's
major.
because they're Asian or because they're just their figure?
It's a combination of it's a combination of both. It's also has a lot to do with the stereotype of being subservient and stuff like that.
Yeah, and
Yeah. There's a
Western.
lot of guys
Yeah,
that
it's just
yeah, there's a
different.
lot of guys that yeah. They just don't want to deal with a woman that's going to be argumentative. So the stereotype is, you go to the Philippines, you go to, you know, Japan, you find a partner, and yeah, she's not going to be arguing with you and to some degree, I can understand the appeal to that because that's what I want. But I mean, of course, I want a wife that's going to actually challenge me sometimes, be better, and
Yeah,
so I don't want somebody that's hanging her head over and, honey, is there something else I can give you? It's like I don't
yeah,
want that. But I can understand it's very unattractive when a woman is argumentative. It's very unattractive when she's ready to um, really argue with a man and just and have an issue about every single thing. There's something about that humility, that beauty that a woman has by, I don't know, that elegance, that I don't know, the femininity. There's something very attractive about that.
yeah.
And
No,
so,
for
so
sure,
yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely,
100%.
yeah,
Um, yeah, with that whole thing about growing up fat and everything, and having that viewpoint on yourself and figuring out that no, you can find someone attractive, right? There's like plenty of like TV references too of like different shows and everything where like the guy's like not as, I guess, beautiful as the lady, right? But they can still have a good relationship. And that's
oh,
first of
always,
all,
always.
if you're funny, you got the ticket in. Like forget what you look like, just make her laugh and you're done, right? It's
Yeah,
set deal. If you're confident and can provide all the other things that they need, yeah, it's
yeah,
over, right? And you can work on
yeah,
yourself in the meantime.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
we got it easy. We can look like a Mack truck and still find like a dime for a wife. Case in point, right here. So it's
Yeah.
like,
Well, yeah, and that, and not that I want to get into this, but this actually is one of the things that I was trying to allude to, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to kind of expand on it, but yeah, the dynamic between men and women is there are differences. There are differences.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, we can be overweight, and but we're not judged as harshly. You know, especially if we
By
have other things.
society for it. Yeah, and that's what we were saying for earlier, where we just bring different things to the table. Women
Yeah, there
are
you go. There you go.
accepted for their natural beauty, right? And it's a,
Correct.
society
Correct.
deems a lot more importance on that, and that's why people are
Right.
so obsessed with their looks and everything. And then if they're not as pretty, it's like they're not as
Yeah.
valued, which bad to
Yeah.
say or not. That's just straight up. And with us,
Yeah.
like we again, well, first of all, pretty people privilege is a thing that exists. Like you can look at any statistic, people will literally get shorter prison sentences because they are attractive. That is a
Mm,
fact.
mm,
So,
mm.
men or women, right? But typically, women are the more beautiful sex and they have a lot more innate beauty to them. So, it's more prevalent on their side of it. Whereas men, they can provide more things that are like just lift heavy objects, and that was more important back then for most things,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, bringing value as far as being funny or whatever else you can bring, like that's you need to do something, or else no one's
Mm.
gonna really pay attention to you too much. And some guys, it is being looking really pretty. That's fine. You worked
Yeah.
hard for that
Exactly.
too.
There you go.
Um,
So
yeah,
funny.
that's just the way things are, man.
Yeah. 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 Very interesting. One of the videos that a buddy of mine showed me months ago. I think it was like yeah, sometime last year, around this time last year, was there was a lady that I guess she's been on YouTube for I don't know 2 3 years, and I don't think any of her videos went necessarily viral, but she addressed one topic that did go viral, and it was called pretty privilege, and she
Oh
was a
yeah,
yeah yeah and Black American lady about my complexion, and she was basically saying that because she's not lighter complexion, and in my community, that's like a big topic. That's always been a big topic with
I've
light skin,
heard.
dark
Yeah,
skin.
even for Mexicans too.
Yeah, yeah, that's right, that's right. Latinos as well, you know. But
Sorry,
yeah,
yeah,
but it's
Latino, Latin X, James, you
yeah,
terrorist.
yeah. But yeah, but she was just saying how she's had a friend or friends that are either mixed or they're lighter complexion or they're I don't know they have these certain a different hair texture or whatever, and yeah, they can come in a bar or come into a club or come into any environment, and she herself can be dressed up, and she even used an opportunity, an example where it was her birthday, and she dressed up, with this beautiful outfit, and she even showed a picture, and it actually looked pretty, okay, but she mentioned like her friend or friends, because they have, maybe they're mixed, maybe they have different, like they every time they're always around guys are all over them. So it's at the point now where this lady who did the video, she stopped hanging out with them in those environments because she couldn't, and I guess from a psychological standpoint, it kind of hurt her. And at first, when I looked at the video, I was thinking, oh, okay, this lady's just, complaining basically, she's just, sad with life. And I do detect a little bit of that. Kind of like, I almost feel like she can use one of those pep talks, like you're kind of providing, like it's almost like she just kind of gave up. And then
Yeah,
she's even talking about like even at work, like the guys seem to the only guy that seemed to give her attention was the gay guy, and she said in some weird way, like she even tried to not try to get with him, but she appreciated getting some type of attention from a man, because like she didn't really get it, and she kind of equated, being black and then her age and her complexion, like all these, and but the more I listened to it, I was thinking, gosh, I don't want to agree with her. I don't want to, but even as a guy, like, yeah, there's certain attributes that really stands out. They
yeah.
really stand out. They really stand out. They really, even today, I'll share this. Even today, I was talking to one of my female friends I haven't, talked to in a while, and I've known her for I don't know 2 years or so through social media, and she's an attractive lady, and yeah, today I was like, you know what, I'd love to meet up with you for lunch. Like we both live in California, and I think she's in like Temecula or something.
Yeah,
But yeah, in my head I was thinking, yeah, I find her attractive. Like it's very easy to want to,
just
drive
go
30
there.
miles to see her. Yeah, it's very easy. It's very easy. There's that motivation and but yeah, I just think it's interesting because it is a thing. It is a thing. And yeah, you're right. Even with handsome people as well. I'm sure Chris Hemsworth, or even any of the Chris's of the Marvel, like,
Yeah.
I'm sure, yeah, a lot of people are drawn to them, attracted to them. They're not only their character and their presence and their confidence, like you mentioned, but yeah, they're attractive guys. So of course, yeah, they're gonna have
Yeah, it's a
those
life
benefits,
hack. It's just
Yeah,
reality. It's a life hack.
yeah, I never knew you went through that situation, the
I mean, a
phase,
lot of
man.
people do. It's hard. It's hard not to. I
Mhm.
specifically remember because I was a cute kid, like for
Yeah, yeah,
like first couple grades in grade school, right? And then I started
okay,
like getting chunky and like got a lot less attention, right? Like
oh, interesting.
literally, like there were girls in the class that would like give me a shoulder rub or like trap me on the playground and chase after me and stuff. And this was like I didn't. It was like
Mm.
girls are gross. I don't want to touch you. Like get away,
You remember
right?
that? Oh, so you actually remember like the transition, like get
Yeah,
the attention.
yeah. It was like around third or
Wow,
fourth grade. Yeah.
wow, wow, wow.
It was just different. Like kindergarten, first grade, even second grade. Yeah, there was a lot of attention like that, and then I still got attention and stuff. It was just different from those people specifically. It changed, right? And maybe
Hmm.
that's just that one or two or three people, but
Hmm.
because I still had people that were attracted, but it was different, right?
Interesting. Interesting.
Um, and then yeah, so there's just different stuff that went into that, but it's just being confident overall, right? Because I was still a fairly
True.
outgoing guy. I was like pretty funny. I was a class clown, and I got kind of confidence through that, right? So that helped
Nice.
me a lot. And then in high school, I just wanted to get in a relationship to actually try stuff out, right? To like as far as like actually being boyfriend and girlfriend, I hadn't had one before.
Okay.
Um, yeah, but that whole confidence thing, you just have to like you can work on your looks over time, but don't let that stop you, right? Just like you should be
Yeah.
confident in your social repertoire to be able to hold a conversation and entertain people.
That's so interesting you bring that up because I feel like I naturally learned how to be more in, like really recognize that through experience, and it was really my preschool jobs actually.
Yeah.
I would be very funny with the kids, and so it was very easy to work with kids, but always their kids would eventually tell their parents about me and and then the parents would want to come meet me and talk to me and just converse with me. And so to me it was kind of like at first it was kind of intimidating. It's like, and especially when I started working at private schools, because a lot of these people, they were entrepreneurs. They were doing very well for themselves. They're like
Yeah.
talking to you in the morning and they're about to get on a plane to go to Africa or Egypt or Greece because they have other things they need to do.
Where are
So
you
it was just
teaching?
very,
Jesus.
yeah. But yeah, yeah, but no, it was interesting. And I remember learning that even though I have this introverted personality, I had to come out. I had to come out. Like
Yeah.
even pretend that I was confident. And I noticed that the more I did it, I actually it was like a workout program. It got easier.
You fake it
It
till you
became
make it.
something like that, something like that. But it actually became easier. So I still found myself very exhausted, like socially
Oh
afterwards.
yeah,
Like I'm like
yeah.
locking myself in the bathroom, like
That's not gonna
you know,
change.
you know, but yeah, but I noticed I became more resilient. It was kind of like even when I started doing push-ups. I remember the first time, I was like in my early 20s. I was like, okay, I'm gonna start working out, and I remember like doing three push-ups really was like killing me. It was killing me, you know. But I remember as I continued, I would start watching, maybe I would watch a whole movie, and the average movie is about an hour and 30 minutes. But I would do like repetitions of 20, and it would be like, and I'd be watching the film and I just got used to it. And then your body just so it goes along with it. It's like, okay, this is a routine. All right. I'm gonna adapt to this, and so it
Yeah.
becomes easier, and yeah, so but it was the same thing with that. So I have to definitely agree is that confidence thing, especially for us guys, like it does something. It just transforms and it just turns us into something else. It can
It's
really
beautiful.
amplify who it is that we are if we do it the right way. That confidence makes a big difference. Big difference.
It's beautiful how that happens. Like the cocoon and then the emerging butterfly of
Right?
man.
Right? I love that. Right?
Like growing up and
Yeah.
like becoming a man. That's what I'm talking about with all this simp stuff. Like just grow. Like you have so much potential, so much
Yes.
masculinity untapped. You know.
Yes.
Um, put down the phone, put down the OnlyFans, put down the PayPal, and go hit the gym, right? Or find purpose.
There you go. Yeah, seriously.
No, it's great. That's my whole thing, like getting people to like realize they have that in them and like just
Right.
becoming the best version of themselves, right? Any way I can do that, you know. Uh, yeah, that was we go off on relationships. That's
Yes,
our
we do, man. Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say, man, that by itself can really carry on with us, man.
yeah. Did you have any other like bangers like that for your week, or can I talk about myself for a little bit? Damn.